Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Check out this black and blue all-wheel drive beast. It's the Lankeleisi MG740 Plus. There is a lot to go over with this bike. I have a feeling this is going to be a fun one, so let's get into it. It has been a while since I have reviewed an all-wheel drive bike, especially one that looks this cool, right? I am really digging these blue rims on this bike with that blue that goes into the black. Now, this was sent to me by my friends at buybestgear.com, and the assembly of it was it was pretty standard, nothing that you should be concerned about. When you get this bike, it's going to arrive as a Class 2 e-bike, which means we should get up to 20 miles an hour via this half-twist throttle right here, our cadence sensor, and our 5 levels of pedal assist. Now, I took a look at the instructions. We can unlock this to Class 3 speeds, and that's what we'll be doing today. This bike weighs 75 pounds and has a payload capacity of 400 pounds. Currently, this bike sells for $15.99 on buybestgear.com, and it comes with a 3-year warranty. It only comes in a high-step version, as you see here, and the average rider height is from 5'4" to 6'3". It comes in 2 colors. You can get this bike with a gray that leads into black, or this blue one that I have right here. Lankeleisi says that the MG740 Plus will go between 43 to 80 miles on a single battery charge. If you've seen any of my reviews, we're not getting anywhere near that mileage today. I am going to try to beat this thing up. The MG740 Plus has a rear wheel hub. It is 48 volts with 1,000 watts. It has a peak power of 1,200 watts and 45 Newton meters of torque. It also has another 48 volt, 1,000 watt brushless hub motor with 1,200 peak watts and 45 Newton meters of torque on the front wheel as well. Add those two together and you will get a peak power of 2,400 watts and 90 Newton meters of torque. It has a 7-speed transmission, an Altus derailleur, and the standard 7-speed Shimano thumb shifter. For stopping power, you have the DY Island 2-piston hydraulic brake system with 180 millimeter rotors. The front fork is branded Lankeleisi. It's the XC model. It is spring-loaded. It has 100 millimeters of travel. You can preload it and you can lock it out. It is sitting on these really cool blue rims. It has Chow Yang tires. They are 26 by 4 inch. They have the standard mountain bike pattern on them, and they are puncture resistant. The battery is a 48 volt with 20 amp hours and 960 watt hours of power. There is an on and off button right here if you want to charge it on the bike. Well, right here is your charging port. It does come with a 3 amp charger, which means you can charge this bike up in about 6 to 7 hours. The website says 4 to 5. I don't know why it does that, but 6 to 7 is what it's going to take to charge this battery up. You can also take this battery off the bike and charge it in a different location. To remove the battery, it's going to come with 2 keys. You're just going to put your key in the lock. You're going to turn it forward. That unlocks the battery. You just push it up and you can remove the battery. There is also a battery indicator light right here. I don't know if you can see it because of my finger. That will show you your charge level on the battery. Now, to put the battery back on the bike, just going to try to line it up a little bit, click it back in place, turn the key, and you're good to go. The display has an IPX rating of 6.4, which means that it is waterproof. The IPX rating for the bike is IP54, which means no matter what kind of weather gets thrown at it, we should be good to go. The MG740 Plus also has a 2849 UL certification. Additional features include these funky rear fenders right here. I have to tell you, I'm not a fan because they bounce around a lot and I find them distracting. So for the review, I'm going to take them off, but I wanted you to see what they look like while they're on the bike. It also comes with aluminum pedals, a quick release seat post, a kind of wide padded seat. I think this one's going to be a good one, and an adjustable stem. Let's talk size and fit. As you can see, this is a tall bike. The seat post does have numbers on the back of it. We're going to put it at its lowest setting for your shorter rider. It also has this nice adjustable stem, which allows you to bring this whole setup forward and back. And this is what it looks like at its lowest level. Now, for your taller riders, well, it goes all the way to here. And this is where your seat goes. And that's what that would look like. Now, I like the fact that it has the numbers on the back because now I can just put it at my setting right here and I am 5'9" with a 32-inch inseam, and this is what I'm going to look like riding this bike. Cockpit Operations. On your left-hand side, this grip right here, it feels thin. I'm not sure how that's going to be during the review. Doesn't have much pattern on it, so we're going to see if that's going to be comfortable. Right here is your rear brake. So normally on most of the bikes that I review, this is your front brake, but for this bike, it's your rear brake. So make sure you pay attention to that. And then right here is your control panel. To turn the bike on, first you must make sure that the battery switch has been turned on. To turn the bike on, we're just going to hold this power button right here in the middle. The display fires up very quickly. As you can see, it's cycling, and then you have a full color display. Up here, you have your battery indicator. This is going to show you like when power is going to the bike. Right here is your speedometer. This shows your different eco levels. Right here shows your pedal assist levels. This will show you your various, like which speed you're in. Right now it shows B, that means it's using the back motor only. And then this is going to show your trip mileage. To put the bike in various pedal assist levels, you're just going to hit the plus button. As you can see, it moved from eco to normal. Number 3 is normal. 4, you have sports. And then 5, the top end of sport. To go back down in pedal assist levels, you're just going to hit that button all the way down into 0. Right here is a headlight button. When you click that, your screen will dim, your headlight comes on. There is no tail light on this bike, so you just have a headlight. To turn the headlight off, you're just going to hit the headlight button again. This bike also has an electronic horn. Let's go ahead and change some functionality with this display. We're going to hit the plus and minus button. It's going to take us into the settings. 0, 1, this is where we change the kilometers to miles per hour. You're just going to hit the I button here once you get into that area. It shows 0, 0. We want it to be +1. As you can see, it switched to miles per hour. Then you just hit your I button again to move to the next setting by using your plus button. This is where it shows the speed limit. Let's go ahead and hit that I button so we can change it. Yeah, let's move that thing all the way up. Okay, so it looks like the highest we can put it is 62. Lock that in, and let's move on. Number 8 is if you want to add a password. We do not. And then it goes right back to 1. To lock everything in, let's just go ahead and turn the display off. We're going to turn it back on. I'm going to show you how you're going to choose between the different between your different motors. Right here, it shows that we are in the back motor, and then you're just going to hold the plus button, and then it moves it into dual mode. And then if you hold the plus button again, it moves it into front wheel drive. And then if you hold it again, it puts it right back to just using your rear motor. On your right hand side, you have your half twist throttle right here. This is your front brake lever. Remember, it's reversed on this bike. This is your thumb shifter. So as you're riding, you can just click this to take it down in gear and push this button to put it up in gear. All right, guys, now it is time for my favorite part, and that's where I take this bike out on the road to see how it does. But first, I'm going to go ahead and remove these fenders because I find them distracting, and then we're going to add some safety features on the bike. This is going to be another day in the 90s, so we'll be getting full power out of this battery. Now right now we are riding in pedal assist 0, and I have it in gear 3, and we're cruising right along at 11 miles an hour. Now, if you've never seen my reviews before, this is the 606 trail here in Chicago. This is where I start and end all of my reviews. Now we are going to test the throttle. I do have it in pedal assist level 1. It looks like it's in eco mode, so I have a feeling that the throttle is going to be dictated by the pedal assist levels. Let's go ahead and see how that works out. Yep, and right there it shows that we're at 13 miles an hour in pedal assist 1. Let's see what pedal assist number 2 does. Ooh, that picks up pretty good. Right now we are just using the rear motor, and that's what we will be doing most of the review that way. Let's see, 19 miles an hour, pedal assist number 2. 24 miles an hour in pedal assist number 3. Let's see what 4 does. 28 miles an hour in pedal assist number 4. Oh, too many people. Let me turn this bike around so we can see how pedal assist number 5 is going to go. And we are rolling at 28 miles an hour in pedal assist number 5. Now let's go ahead and test the pedal assist levels. I have it into pedal assist number 1. We're in gear 4. I want to see how long it takes for the pedal assist to kick in. Okay, so it took like 1 revolution of the crank before it kicked in. So 13 miles an hour, I can comfortably pedal in pedal assist number 1. Let me go ahead and put this thing up in a gear. Let's go ahead and pedal assist number 2. Number 2, we're cruising at 17 miles an hour. Let's try number 3. We are easily cruising at 24 miles an hour in pedal assist number 3. We are cruising at 27 miles an hour in pedal assist number 4. We're going to go ahead and turn it around, as you can see all these people up here. And in pedal assist number 5, we're cruising at 28 miles an hour. I have to tell you, there was zero ghost pedaling with this bike, so that was awesome. Let's go ahead and check out the speedometer and see if it matches the display. And right now it shows that it's taking a second for it to catch up, but yeah, we are tracking when it comes to the mileage on both. I moved this. I'm not sure you guys can see this. I'm wearing these photochromatic glasses and I can barely see this screen, but I don't know if you guys can on this video, so you might have to just trust me when I'm telling you things if you can't see it yourself. It is time for the brake test. We're going to do it in 2 different ways. First, we're going to run it at 20 miles an hour, just in case you decide to keep it in class 2 mode. And then we're going to try it in class 3 mode at 28 miles an hour. Right at 21, you know what, I'm going to lock this out. This thing, 21 feet is what we did. I locked out the front forks because they seem to work really well and they're super soft at the moment. So I need to get those adjusted a little bit better. And with these brakes being reversed, well, I need to make sure that I don't knock myself out or wreck or go over the handlebars or something. Now for this, since I have a short runway, well, we're going to put it in dual battery mode. It's going to go faster. We'll end up testing that here in a few minutes, but here we go. Let's get up to, woo, oh, she wants to go. Let's get it up to top speed, and then we'll hit the brakes. Oh, right at 30 feet. We were at 29 miles an hour. Yeesh. Oh, I bet with dual mode, this bike is going to fly. We'll end up doing a top speed test with that in dual mode here in a little bit. Yeah, she stops. See how it looks without the fenders? I think it looks a lot better. It's just a personal preference. You don't have to do that. Also, you probably noticed I'm wearing my full face helmet. Something about this bike makes me just feel like you need a full face helmet with it. Here's my half knee bar and mirror. My Seco bike light, which is what we'll use because it flashes, and that'll keep me safe on the road. All right, let's get on down the road and see how this thing handles hills. These grips feel like they're thin, but I think this bar is thicker. So because of that, maybe that's why they're thin, because now you feel like you just have a normal grip, if not just a little bit wider than your average one. Now, before we started this, I ended up resetting the trip meter, and I also have Strava going, so that way we can see how accurate the display is going to be. Let's go ahead and do a little off-roading with this bike to see, oh, this guy's, Jesus, wasn't sure that guy was going to stop. All right, here we go. And right now we have it in rear-wheel drive. We're not doing the all-wheel drive yet, but this bike does just fine. I knew it would when it came to some off-road riding. You know, this thing's just kind of built for this kind of stuff. Let's see how we come up off this curb. Yeah, not bad. I mean, this bike is performing how I thought it would. It is time for the hill climb. All right, we're going to use throttle only. We have it in pedal assist number 5. We're just using the rear motor at the moment, and we are heading up. Let's see how it does. I mean, it says it only has like 45 Newton meters of torque on the rear, and you only get 90 Newton meters of torque when you use them both. But we were making it up the hill really well this way by just using the rear motor. Now we're going to try using pedal assist only. We still have it in pedal assist number 5. I got it down into gear 3. Let's go and see. Now we're just using the rear motor. Looked like a half a crank, and this bike took off. Yeah, it's going to be super easy going up hills if you are pedaling while you're just using one of the motors. All right, guys, let's go ahead and put this into all-wheel drive. Boom, now we got it. And let's try it with just throttle. Oh, throttle only. Ooh, this thing launched. I always find it, it's just, all-wheel drive is just so much fun when you're doing off-road stuff and climbing. I don't even know if the drone kept up. That's how much we were just moving out. One more try. We're going to do it by just using pedal assist with it being an all-wheel drive. Let's go. Oh, yeesh. Yeah. And it is just as fast pedaling. Well, actually, I feel like we're a little bit faster pedaling than just using throttle. Yeah, this thing is a beast. All right, guys, it is time for the sand test. Right there is the beautiful Chicago skyline. We're here on the beach. We're going to start off with just the rear wheel drive and see how well it makes it through the sand. I've cut it down into pedal assist number 5. We put it up to there. I got it down in gear 2. And let's see how it handles. All right, so right now I'm just pedaling and it's doing pretty good. Let's just switch over to throttle. And throttle seems to not be as powerful as the other one. Okay, you know what? We're kind of stuck here. Let's go ahead and put it into all-wheel drive. And now let's give it some gas. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, we're just okay, so this thing is just like picking up speed in the sand. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is handling exactly how I thought it would. Oh, sand is fun with a bike like this. All right, not only will this bike get you to the beach, it'll get you through the beach. It'll probably drag other stuff through the beach. So yeah, bravo. This is my favorite part of the Lakeshore Trail right here because you get this beautiful skyline of Chicago. It is the weekend, so there are a ton of people out. Look at this guy. This guy's balancing a bottle on his head. I don't know if you saw that, but he was. So yeah, look at all these people out. We're gonna head down the road here to a place that's less populated, and we're gonna go ahead and do some speed tests and see just how fast this bike really is. All right, this looks like a place where I can see how fast this bike goes in all-wheel drive. I just went ahead and put it into all-wheel drive. We're doing throttle only at the moment, and this thing is climbing quickly. Doing 30. 31, and we're still climbing. 32. Yeah, so like 32 is going to be the highest we're going to hit. Yeah, you can definitely feel it with the all-wheel drive. It's nice, although you would not want to keep it in all-wheel drive all the time. You're definitely going to burn up battery whenever you're pushing two motors like that. So we're going to go ahead and put it back into the rear motor. Actually, right now we have it in the front motor. So we're just going to see how that feels as we're climbing up this hill. And it basically feels just like the back one. It performs the same. You know, like sometimes I review other bikes and the front motor acts different than the back one. And this one seems to act just the same. So that's good. So it doesn't matter whether you're pushing yourself or pulling yourself. It's going to feel the same. Yeah, I think we're just going to keep it in front-wheel drive for a while. We are going to be spinning the first part of this distance test, pushing into the wind, and that's going to make it easier for us when we're heading back. You can see how busy Chicago is on the weekend. Oh. There we go. Little off-roading, nothing wrong with that. I just feel like this bike wants to be off-road all the time. Let's go ahead and put it into rear-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive is just fine. It just feels a little bit different when going through off-road a little bit. Not that it feels bad, just feels a little bit different. And so we're just going to, I think it might be better distance-wise because most of the time you're going to have it in rear-wheel drive. So that's what we want to try to get the most out of this battery. So that's why we're going to keep it in rear-wheel drive unless we find a big hill to climb. Now, with all the people that we have here, the best setting for me is riding this bike on pedal assist number 3. And that way we're just cruising around 18 miles an hour. Now this looks like a hill. Oh, let's see if this bad boy can handle it. Ahead of me is a giant hill. I'm telling you, this thing is huge, which is awesome because I checked the grade on it and it has like 22% grade. And then at the very end, it has a 33% grade. So we're going to see how this battery or how this bike does. I put it in all-wheel drive. We have it in pedal assist 5. So it's going to give me all the energy that we can. And let's go and see how this bike does. Here we go. It's getting steep already. It's getting steep. Come on, baby. And then it gets to 32%, and we made it. We made it. That is impressive. You guys see? Look at how far. Wow. This is why you want like an all-wheel drive bike. These things will just handle the crazy hills. Also, like if you were using it for like hunting or something like that, then you would also be able to like haul like a deer or whatever if you caught something. So yeah, I'm glad I found this hill. I just happened to see it out of the corner of my eye and I'm like, I'm giving this thing a shot. Yeah, if that doesn't impress you, you're just not going to be impressed at all. When it comes to this display, you can barely see it, right? Like I'm going to take my glasses off and you know, see how they tint, but even just seeing it on its own, it is very, very dim. I mean, I get it. They want the blue because it looks cool, but you can't really see it that well in direct sunlight. And I have this thing tinted or tilted. If I put it right there, well, I can't see anything. So we're just going to put it back here and you can kind of see everything so far. And that's where we're at. We've only dropped 1 bar, so we're going to go for a ways before we do a mileage check. Okay, so right here, this guy in front of us, now you can see how hard the wind is blowing that we are riding into. This bike is doing it with no issues at all. We're still in rear-wheel drive. I got the, let's just go to throttle, and we'll see with it going against this hard wind what our top speed is. And it is still climbing about 26 miles, 25 miles an hour. Yeah, it's at 25 miles an hour with this headwind. All right, let's talk about the cruise control with this bike. Now, what I did was I kicked it down into pedal assist number 2. That way we're doing a decent speed. And what you do is you hold the throttle back, and now it takes us to our max speed of 17 miles an hour. Then you're just gonna hold down the minus button over here for a few seconds. And then when you take your hands off, well, now the bike is doing cruise control, and you're just gonna move along at that speed until you end up hitting the brakes. Let's go ahead and put it up back to pedal assist number 5. Oh, hang on here. It looked, you know, this thing's kind of hard to see. Oh no, we have 2 bars left. Let me pull it here into the shade. All right, guys, we are down to 2 bars and like, oh no. And I think that's because it's so hard to see this screen and see your battery level. So climbing up that big monster hill must have really killed it, and I couldn't really see it. So I just happened to glance down and be like, oh, there it is. Now we have 2 bars here. It shows that we've gone 19.3 miles on the display. Strava shows that we've gone 18.98. So we are very close when it comes to what the display shows to what Strava shows. I'm going to turn around right now. I'm also not going to ride it in pedal assist number 5. We're going to kick it down to like 2 or 3, and then we're going to get home that way and see how far we can go. When I first looked at this bike and I saw the size of the chainring, I was thinking to myself that this bike will probably ghost pedal a lot, but this bike does not ghost pedal at all. So they must have a pretty nice freewheel in the back to keep it from doing that. This seat is pretty bumpy. I don't know, I guess that's the best way to say it, because it's not that comfortable, right? I feel like it's heavier in the back than it is in the front, and so it just kind of wants to like push you forward. I already changed the angle of it to make it a little bit better, but that doesn't seem to help. So that would be one of the things that I would change out on this bike is the seat. Everything else, though, this bike has been rocking and rolling. These all-wheel drive bikes are a ton of fun. Grips are still holding up well. I like the cruise control feature, although now that I'm down to 2 bars, I can't even see what I'm at right now. But I'm down to those 2 bars. Well, I don't want to use cruise control. I don't want to eat up the battery until we get closer to home. Holy cow, guys, check this out. Yeah, that is cool. Look at how many of them there are. Wow, look at that. There's so many. It just keeps on going. All of these guys look pretty cool. These are PEVs. These are these one-wheel vehicles that they have groups here in Chicago where they meet up and they ride around. They are doing some cool stuff today. These tires have like a medium-sized knobbies on them, so they don't stick out near as much as other mountain bike tires. And because of that, it has a very easy rolling resistance, so it's very little. And you can coast along pretty well with this bike, or at least I feel like you can. I think just when you are pushing the throttle and making this thing go super fast, well, that's when you can really tell, but they are loud. People hear you before you show up. So even though you have that electric horn, which is awfully nice, still people can hear you coming up on them. Look at the beautiful Chicago skyline again. This is where you're seeing it from a different angle. Oh, love it. Love it. I had forgotten that I rode into the wind all that distance, so that's also going to shorten the battery mileage, but I'm actually pretty happy now because now I have the wind to my back, and that is definitely going to help us make it home. Let's go ahead and check the walk mode on this bike. So you have it in pedal assist 0. You're going to hold down on the minus button, and it starts to walk. Ooh, it walks pretty quick, actually. Oh, you gotta kind of jog with it. Looks like it goes 4 miles an hour. It's still climbing. Yeah, 4 miles an hour is what it seems to do. We are in pedal assist level 3. We're just gonna throttle it out for a little bit. Because we do have these 2 bars. I'm probably about 6 miles from being home. So I think we'll be okay. At least I think we will be. Oh, now we're going to be heading straight into the wind. This is like wind alley right here. It is always going. As you can see, the flags right now on how bad they're going. But as you can tell, I have a really excellent microphone system that cuts out all of that wind. We are cruising at 24 miles an hour in pedal assist number 4. I'm using throttle only, and we're just moving right along. This is working out rather nice. Still got 2 bars. These are heavy duty forks, and they feel like it, right? Because you need a stronger fork for this motor that's in the front because it has that additional weight. But man, it's not very smooth. It does the job, but you're gonna feel it. All right, if we take a close look, we are down to 1 bar. I don't know if you can see it. I can barely see it myself. You know, I think they need to change the color. You know, this is why I like black and white displays, because you never have an issue with being able to see them in bright sunlight. And it's not even that bright. We have overcast, and I'm having a hard time seeing it. All right, once again, we're fighting the wind really heavy again. And, you know, we're down to this 1 bar, about 4 miles from home. this wind. You know, when the wind is going really strong, if I wanted to, all I have to do is just push it into that all-wheel drive mode, and I probably wouldn't feel the wind resistance at all. But right now we're just using that 1 motor, and you feel it. I mean, the bike's not slowing down any, but as the rider, you're going to feel yourself pushing against it. All right, guys, we're back here on the 606. I'm going to try to beat this rain cloud that's coming in. It looks like there might be a couple of them. Isolated thunderstorm action. I have it in pedal assist number 5. We are cruising at 25 miles an hour. I'm about 3.3 miles from the house. Let me see, we're going to try that cruise control again, and boom, letting go. There it is, giving us the cruise control action. So far, we've done 29 miles, and this thing just is moving along. You know, even though we have this lower battery level, it still seems to be giving me full power. I mean, I know it's giving me what it can, but it's not pulsing or surging or anything like that. I have a feeling this is one of those bikes that's just going to give you all it can until it can't give you any more, and then it's just done. And we're doing throttle only right now, so that means that this bike obviously is going to go farther if you don't just use throttle only. But I have been pedaling for quite a while. This bike has been doing excellent. So yeah, we're going to throttle our way back home. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and do a mileage check. We're still down to 1 battery bar. We're here at the end of the 606. You can see the wind that I've been fighting this entire time, and this bike has been doing excellent. It's showing that we're at 31.3 miles. Strava shows we're at 30.63. So it's, you know, it's still off a little bit, showing we've gone a little bit farther than what we have. But to me, I think it's close enough to where you wouldn't have to freak out, you know, using a third-party app to see if you were what your actual mileage is. Well, let's keep riding and wear this bad boy out. I am back on the 606 trail, heading away from the house, and it looks like I'm heading towards the storm that I was able to avoid by shooting down this road here. So we're going to see if I end up getting wet before this review is over. Well, I went to the end of the 606 trail. It still shows that we have 1 bar of battery, I think. I mean, it looks like that. It's so hard to see. We'll make sure I didn't. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we've got another 3 miles, and this bike is still doing excellent. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and head back and see what happens. Now, we just did that entire distance throttle only in pedal assist number 5, and that's what we're going to hold it at on the way back. When it comes to battery management, I mean, this bike has a really good one. Normally when you're hitting that 1 bar on your battery percentage level, well, then you start to panic and you want to make sure that you're close to home. But with this bike, it just seems to just rock and roll the entire time. You know, some bikes drop in battery percentage once they get below 50%. You know, they drain faster on the lower 50 than they do the upper 50. But this bike seems to be just steady the entire time. It's pretty impressive, actually. This thing is rocking and rolling, which I guess is a good feature to have since you can't really see the display. Now we're starting to really, oh shoot, we're starting to really slow down. All right, the battery is flashing. I am actually too far from home for me to want to deal with this right now. So we have the battery indicator flashing, and I put it into pedal assist number 3. I don't know if it's providing me any assistance though. You know what? It is not. I am trying to give it throttle. It is not working. So it just gave me all it could till it couldn't give me any more. And then it just cut everything off. Well, we've made it back to the house now. I did have to ride this bike for a couple of miles without battery power, and it wasn't that bad. I was cruising at about like 10, 11 miles an hour. I thought it would be worse, but it was not. When it comes to the display showed that we went 36 miles before we ran out of battery. Strava says that we went 35.13 miles, so there is obviously a difference there. I don't know if that difference is enough for me to like use, or for me to want to use, a third-party app when dealing with this bike. I think the display tracks it close enough for me to be happy with. I don't know, that's up to you guys to figure out. But when it does come to this display though, you can't see it. You can't. You know, you're trying to see it. It's just hard to see. So if they come out with like an updated version of this, I hope they change this display, because that and the seat, well, the seat, I, it looks very padded, and it is. But for just some reason, this seat and I, we don't get along. Towards the end of this ride, I'm like shifting around trying to find my happy spot on the seat, and I couldn't find it. So I would first switch this out, and then I would just have to deal with the battery part I would have to deal with the display part, because you know this battery is going to take you super far. So I really wouldn't worry about what that battery level is if you know you're going out for a 30-mile ride. And I abused this bike. You guys saw it. I went up that big hill. I went up a couple of hills actually, but I did that other one that was even really steep. This bike made it through no problem. And then all that riding in the sand, and then just keeping it at pedal assist number 5, and just, you know, I was just abusing this bike. Now, if you were just going to take this out for a stroll, or riding it through the woods to go hunting or something like that, you're going to be good to go. I mean, this bike's going to go even farther if you ride it normally. Now, I find that impressive when it comes to a bike with dual motors, all-wheel drive with just a single battery. So overall, this bike has been pretty awesome. I've had a lot of fun riding it. It's been a while since I've reviewed an all-wheel drive bike, and I just remember how much fun that it is. Now, if you are interested in this bike, well, you can go ahead and use my link down below. That's going to take you to buybestgear.com, where you're going to get the best pricing. If I have a discount code, I'm going to throw that down there as well, and that way you can get one of these for yourself. So that's it. Like, that's my review for the Lankeleisi MG740 Plus. It's a long name. That's a hard company name, and then that's a long name for the bike. So there we go. I want to thank you for making it to the end. I want to thank you for watching, and until I see you again, enjoy the ride.